Almost everyone that endures suffering will ask questions about God and why God would allow them to go through any kind of suffering. Some people, like Job in the Bible, wanted to make his case, as he believed only bad things happen to bad people. However, we know this is not true, at least not in its totality. Sure, some could ask if good people even exist at all, but that's well beyond the topic of this video today. Some people, unlike Job, instead of questioning God's nature of why he allows things, some people will then actually question God's existence instead of just his nature. So, does evil contradict belief in God? Does it make it less likely that he exists? Today I'll be arguing that no, evil does not make it more likely that God does not exist. Instead of using responses I've used before, like the free will defense and others of this sort, today I'll be going over a theodicy. A theodicy is an account for why God could or will allow evil of any sort to happen. However, some theodicies only answer one specific kind of evil, so let's keep that in mind as we go through here. It isn't designed to answer every single kind of question, but to account for a particular type of evil. So see someone like Richard Swinburne, who gives a solid soul-building theodicy throughout his academic work. But today I'll be using a theodicy that's used a lot from someone, a philosopher by the name of Josh Rasmussen, called the love story theodicy. And it starts off like this. People that have near-death experiences usually described after death meeting a divine presence, and some people ask this being about things that they went through, why they went through them, and why it had to be so difficult, along with other many factors. These people will describe how they felt more alive than ever before, and that this being or presence, this light, whatever you want to call it, was radiating in love and loves each one of us. The theme of love is so important to all of us today. For example, any of you have seen the movie Interstellar, think of the part of the story where the father has to leave his child to save the world, and his children grow old without him, while the basis of the whole movie is on the loving connection between these two, the father and the daughter, and how they're both able to save the world with the calculations and whatnot. The movie adheres to all of the things as humans that we all love within any type of story. And these are all attributes of any good story that we all just love so much. Think of attributes of a story like courage, or tension, or challenge, progress, or sacrifice, or victory, and specifically a heroic type of display of love. This is the foundation of the Christian message itself, as God's love is so much for us that he does for us with the incarnation, from John chapter 3:16, that he so loved the world that he came and died the death that we deserved. So basically God has allowings of evil, is that there are things that can exist as in love, courage, and sacrifice, and victory. All of these things can only exist in a world that has evil. True love and true sacrifice and all of these things can't exist without the possibility of evil, without the possibility of going wrong. So God can allow types of evils for these kinds of examples in the world. God would allow fear to exist because that's the only way that you can get courage. God can let other things exist for other particular types of virtues that we would want. A world with these types of virtues is a better world than one without evil, one without any type of virtues whatsoever. So someone could say, well, think of another example, like forgiveness. God could have created a world where no one could do any wrong to each other, so then there would be no forgiveness. But maybe it's that God wanted to create a world that had forgiveness, And the only way that forgiveness could exist is if people could make free-willed actions, free decisions, to do wrong to someone, which would allow that person to forgive them or not. So, as I've said earlier, this is obviously not going to address every single aspect of all evils that have ever existed, but it at least, I think, gets the ball rolling, gets it started into this. So instead of questioning the existence of God, this Theodicy, like others, can show that God allows evils for reasons like love, and other things of, as I mentioned, a little bit of Swinburne also, with the soul-building Theodicy. So, this may be one of the ways that Christians can go about trying to explain why God allows for all kinds of other evils. Now, this wouldn't explain any type of, not all of the naturalistic evils, at least not in its totality. Some could say that, well, maybe God would allow natural disasters to happen so that people could have compassion on others. That's possible, but it's also, I think, really difficult for us to say with any certainty. And as for any of these, really, it's not like any of these that we have 100% certainty or 100% proof. This is exactly why God allows any type of evil. And this is kind of an Alvin Plantinga thought, where he says, well, I don't know the reasons why God allows evil. So those are just a few options that Christians can take in trying to understand the problem of evil. So thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know what you guys think down below.